Go ahead.
Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. So, my session, I will be covering how we are using AI in insurance, and specifically, I come from a life insurance background. So, how exactly are we deploying AI into life insurance? I will not go too much into theoretical aspect of it, but yes, I will be covering on the high level use cases that we are seeing into insurance currently, where AI is either already deployed or is being tested out rapidly in these areas. So these are certain use cases that we will be discussing throughout my presentation today. And finally, I will be touching upon some AI in action kind of stuff at the end of my presentation. Before I start, just a small introduction about myself. As you can see on the screen, I am Rishi Jain. I am heading the Analytics and Data Science Division for Aegon Life Insurance in India. Yeah, and that's how it is. Okay, so I hope everybody is able to see my presentation, and it is well, I think in Zoom, I believe. Yeah, okay. So just some statistics that we can gather from the various surveys that has been done. What will AI generate in business value? So it's close to around $3 trillion is what we can expect in just a year from now. And what can be the savings on our head count or the man hours, as we call it. So some estimates around that. Definitely, these are like whooping numbers. So we are not wrong if we are spending time in discussing on AI. Further, I mean, we know these people, I mean, what they say. Both Masayoshi talks about how who will rule the world in near future, and when we go to say Putin, he's also saying specifically on AI that people who are leaders in AI will rule the world. So definitely, I think we are in the right space. We are in the right discussion mode. Before I go further, just a little bit concerned on AI. There is some words that are being used frequently in terms of when we talk about artificial intelligence. And what I'm showing here is what I called as a hype danger kind of a meter. So there are certain words like cognitive. I mean, to be very honest, I am a data science background or a analytics background, and I am doing certain projects here. But what is exactly cognitive, and how is it different from the other tools or anything, is something even I'm not fully aware of, or I have not deployed anything on this side. But I've heard a lot about this piece. So somewhere I think this word associated with AI draws a lot of hype and a danger level to it. Similarly, something like a deep learning, it is again a very hyped word. Machine learning, statistical model, I think these are pretty much okay in today's parlance. We know what it is, what benefits it is, what they come out with. And again, data science, I think it is slightly overrated, but yes, that's fine. Great. So in my view, there are only three things. For any AI kind of a project, there are only three things that we need to think of. We start probably from this side, on the right side, probably, wherein first we need to have some data in the background, some historical data that we need to have, basis which we want to figure out or do some future predictions, which is again this part. Basis this data, we then need to identify what actually we want to predict. Is it certain some case, some event, some sort of transaction, any customer or anything? So what is that exact KPI, or what is that exact kind of value that we want to predict with the historical data? And then finally it comes, which is the center part of it, that after doing all that analysis on the historical data, after identifying that which KPI we want to predict, how will we use it? That's the biggest part, and that's where I think the role of use cases come in. That's where you need to understand that we can keep talking about, or we can keep saying that okay, I'm working on some AI project, but ultimately how do we want to use that AI output or that project's output is what we need to be clear right at the very first stage, is what I'm saying. Ideally this should be the starting point. So where you want to use, or what is your business problem, or what is your use case, that should be first starting point. We pick up a solution from here. That's what I intend to do in most of my projects. So we will deal more on the use cases in this particular session. And just to take you through some of the typical use cases that we have in the insurance value chain. This is what it looks like. I hope it is visible, and the screen size is good. So what I've done here is that I have broken the entire insurance value chain into a couple of things. If you see this box here, the center box, which is somewhere here, this is again broken into two parts. One is the logistics part, which is at the bottom side of it, and the top side is the strategic part of it. That's how I have broken it. On the center, you can see your customer is there, right? Who's probably the center of every business and probably the center of every new development or strategy or whatever you call it. So the customer is here. Then there is this customer services part of it, and then you will find the products part of it on this side. And then there are different other activities or verticals or departments, as you call it, will be there, like marketing, pricing, products and packaging. And below, I have kept the support part of it. So anything to do with IT, HR, legal, finance, any operations, or any risk management, these are all like supporting pillars to your overall working in your business. Coming to the use cases, as we were discussing, like say, for example, if you pick up marketing, how is marketing influencing the customer, and what can be the use cases of AI into insurance that you can deploy here. Obviously, there is like uh, Google Ads optimization or any marketing automation kind of attribution kind of modeling or anything that you can do out here. These are all AI based kind of use cases. On the website side, on the when the customer comes to any of your interfaces or any of your digital assets, what exactly can you think of? Some sort of product recommendation, some sort of funnel kind of efficiencies that you can create through some project or something, and then what it will result into, what can be the impact of these activities that you can measure out from here. Anything on the product side, upsell, cross sell kind of modeling, anything on the next best offer. These are certain use cases on the product and propositions side. On the agents, there can be something like a lead scoring, some sort of attribution modeling or something, attrition modeling. I'm sorry about that. Attrition modeling, we can think of this kind of scenarios in this particular business vertical, right? This is a slide I'm showing in sense. This is again part of some research that was done, I think, by McKinsey a year or two back. This actually shows that what are the different insurtechs investing into when we talk about, say, an AI kind of a project. On this side, you can see a PNC insurance, health insurance versus a life insurance kind of domains. And in the bottom, there are different business processes or business verticals, somewhere on the product side, marketing side. And on the center, if you see, is the kind of split of the AI concentration or the AI focus that these companies are doing. So clearly, if you see this 17%, 11%, 9% among all the three uh, insurance domains, they are focusing most on the distribution side. This just shows that where people are seeing the best value, where people are trying to focus more and more to choosing the use case out of, say, a list, and which area you can see the best. So as I was saying, on the distribution side, people are trying to put the maximum effort. That's where the maximum kind of projects are being picked up by all these three industries, followed by the pricing side of it. People are, in the insurance at least, people are deploying more and more AI use cases in the pricing part. because somewhere they feel that the value, the return on it is most, followed by claims. We all understand, people who are from an insurance background would definitely understand that how claims is a big chapter for all of us. Beyond that, little bit on the product development and the marketing side of it. But by and large, these are the largest three blocks. Contrary to what, before I saw this chart, to be very honest, believe me, before I saw this particular chart, I thought, somewhere I thought that marketing would be maybe close to distribution. So I thought that probably these two fields must be the highest where people are actually investing. But yes, as I finally saw, these are the three areas that where most of the projects are being picked up, right? This is a detailed list of the use cases where AI or at least a ML kind of a solution will definitely work. And specifically talking about Aegon, about my own organization, uh, I would say if there are, say, some 30 use cases listed down on this page, probably we have done some solutioning around at least on 15 out of these 30, or at least a few we are currently work in progress. But yes, definitely I know we have worked a lot in Aegon in terms of claims, in terms of underwriting, yeah, on these side. And rest, I believe, yes, sales and marketing everywhere. Every organization must have been working on these use cases. Somewhere or the other, they might have deployed it. Somewhere it might be working for them. Somewhere it might not be working for them. They are looking for newer and better solutions. But yes, this is kind of a laundry list of use cases that we are currently all seeing and working on. I'll go through some of these in slightly more detail in my forthcoming slides. So specifically talking about sales and marketing, this is something that we have done here at Aegon is what I'm covering. Yes, there can be a completely world greater and can be there. People have done a lot of things here. But yes, what I'm covering today is specifically what I and my team have done at Aegon. On the cross-sell and upsell side, what we are actually doing is that through AI is that we are optimizing the messages that we can use on runtime for any customer that is coming to any of my touch point, and that is actually giving me a driving greater kind of sales for me. Initially, without this model, say for example, my cross sell model was having a 2% of a conversion, but putting this AI kind of a algorithm in the background, wherein it is on the runtime deciding the individual messages for individuals, what kind of content, what kind of phrases we should use, and what kind of say. So there is a background. In the background, what we have done is that we have created a list of say features, benefits, some sort of words and phrases that we want to use into insurance parlance, uh, and say for different customer segments. So there are say a large number of customer segments created, and then there is a large number of content created. AI model does is that when the customer comes on some touch point, it dynamically decides that who to show what. He picks up that, and that is being then shown either on a chatbot or say on a web banner or something in my dynamic widgets or somewhere. So this is the dynamic content that we are pushing. And as I was telling, we are definitely seeing a very huge upswing in my overall conversion rates as compared to my previous model. Web page banner and online advertising optimization. I think this is a very pretty normal stuff nowadays. It's mostly about your on the runtime. How do you optimize your costs or your budget allocated to different keywords and everything on your ad spends? So on the runtime, you are not doing it. I think this is a very standard process. Every person everywhere has been doing. Either you do it internally or you deploy some vendor or some specialized skill sets to get it done for you. So yes, that's done for us as well. Lead scoring. In the lead scoring part also, while again I would say this is a pretty much old kind of a use case, definitely since ages people might have been using lead scoring. Probably 20 years back, people were using some rule-based kind of algorithms that, okay, if the person is having coming from X source or whatever XYZ 1 2 3 4 rules, and basis that he was categorizing it into a category A, B, C, people might have used moved on to a kind of a on the fly kind of a algorithm also to identify the lead scoring. But what specifically different or what good we are doing at Aegon is that uh, we we are able to parse the content of the customer. So when we are talking about lead scoring, if there is any chat that has happened with the customer on my web portal or somewhere, or if there was any message or anything that the customer has sent me while creating that lead, so that also we are trying to parse, and that also we are using into the scoring algorithm. We are capturing his exact sentiment and the exact kind of his need, so to say, and that's where we are scoring that particular lead, and that's where I think we are getting some better kind of lead categorization into hot, warm, or cold. Yeah. Customer single view and customer dashboards with all that data into one place. Again, I would not go into details. I think this is a general stuff everywhere everybody is trying to do. We have also done it. I won't say that it's something very huge or different is what we have done, but yes, we have done. There's a again, this is also use case based. When I say customer single view, it's not that the entire organization has come under a single view umbrella kind of a thing. It's use case basis. So basically the single view was created for this upsell and cross sell kind of initiatives. So wherever the customer touch points are there, we have integrated all that data, all that touch points in the back end in one server or in one place, and the customer sees a seamless journey from my one asset to different asset. So essentially what it means that if the customer has logged in through say a mobile phone on my app, and from there if he clicks and he lands to my web page banner or something web page, uh, somewhere he will not have to log in again, or somewhere if he has filled some form in my app, then whatever he has filled will be carried to that web page. So he will start from where he left and he will not start afresh. And this is on a cross sell perspective, as a use case that I said. Yeah. Lifetime value, again, definitely is a big use case. I'll again not go deeper into it. We are trying into it. I would say we are still work in progress on this side. We have done something. Somewhere it has worked, but still we are looking for a better solution. But yes, that's how I would leave it there. Underwriting and claims, this is one of the biggest portions that we are all focusing on today. This is where Aegon is also doing something massively good, I would say, and this is where I think we are pioneers, at least in India, in terms of digitally selling the policies. And when I say digitally, it is truly digital. Uh, Pardon me if there is somebody from Policy Bazaar kind of company here on this call, but while Policy Bazaar is a portal, online sales of policies is happening. But if you go to Policy Bazaar, you will find that they will ask a ton of questions and everything, and they will also ask you to upload all the documents. They call themselves digital because everything is like paperless. But even if it is paperless, it is all hectic. I mean, it's all some 100 questions you will ask, you will upload your papers and everything you will do out there, and then the policy is issued on a digital format. That's true. But what we are doing here is that when we talk about digital and when we talk about AI, what we also intend is to move away from the traditional model. Uh, what we talk about is specifically these 4 5 things. When a customer comes to buy a new policy, how can we automate the decisioning of underwriting, uh, from a manual person sitting and checking and doing some stuff around it? how can we use some algorithms in the background which can automatically accept or reject the applications, or can at least flag some concerns or the application, and can bucketize it that okay, this is accepted lot, this is rejected lot, and this is say maybe the maybe lot, or maybe a manual content is there on this particular say 20% application, so a person needs to see it before I can accept or reject. And these are some tuning parameters that you can do as a data scientist, how your model should behave on the output. That's what you can do, right? Prioritizing medical tests. Medical tests, when it comes to term policies in insurance, is one of the biggest devils for the company, and it is a devil for the customer. Both for company, it is like a huge cost. For customer, it is like a huge deterrent. You want to buy something, but you first have to go out, go to a diagnostic center, do a medical test, say a blood test or whatever, and then only after 2 days, 3 days, you will get to have that policy in place. So it's a big deterrent. What AI can do now for us is that it can identify that which particular cases would definitely require a medical case, and the rest can be waived off. That's how we are using it. And I would say right now we have tuned this model uh, to predict maximum 25% of the cases which would require medical cases. So which means at least 75% cases, the model will predict that it will not require a medical test. And that's how we are training this particular model as of now. Prioritizing questions on application forms. This is something big that again we are doing. There is in the background, there is a set of say 15 questions that we want to ask to a customer before I can sell an insurance or issue an insurance policy to him or her. But this 15 questions also, I am not asking to each and every customer. So what this algorithm in the background is doing, they are studying the profile, the target audience, and some other parameters. And maybe to some set of individual, it will ask some chosen 7 questions. Some other individual, it will ask some other set of chosen say 10 questions. And these two can differ from individual to individual depending on what kind of profile is entering into that buying journey. Uh, so we are prioritizing the questions depending on different individuals as well. Fraud detection, obviously, I mean, there is a huge use case of fraud. Uh, I mean, for $1,000 of premium that I'm charging, probably I'm insuring you for say 200,000 of rupees, so which is like 200 times is your coverage. Uh, if one fraud creeps in, probably the 500, 5,000 or 10,000 policies that I've sold, and whatever I have earned out of this 5,000, 10,000 policies, I will lose everything if there is one fraudulent claim that creeps into my system. So identifying that is definitely one of the biggest use cases for us. Uh, yes, we are using AI in the background to identify these cases. How we are using AI, I'll give you a small example. There can be a kind of a selfie that we are asking the customer to uh, click on the runtime and upload it into the buying journey. Depending on the selfie itself, we are trying to identify 2 3 things. One, whether the person is live or not at the time of policy purchase, so whether he was a living being or not. Second, anything on the impersonalization, so whether if the person is filling an application form with a name say John, and his say government I card is showing John, but the photo and the same person who's there in the behind the mobile phone is one and the same person or not. So impersonalization is what we are able to check with only one click of a selfie. And there can be some more such information that can be gathered basis which we are able to identify the fraudulent content into each individual kind of applications. Risk scoring, yes, on each and every application, depending on the different kind of data or information that we are collecting, we are assigning a risk score. basis which we are further determining that what can be the maximum sum assured that can be offered to that individual, and at what risk acceptance levels.
Yeah, Rishi, time is getting over. If you have a sum up or asking questions to see participants have questions before jumping to the next section.
Right. So I think I am also done. This is just one last slide which I would want to show. For people probably who are in India or who have heard about India, there is this company called Flipkart, which is one of the biggest e-commerce players in India, close to Amazon. The name goes by Flipkart. We have partnered with Flipkart, and you can see the AI in action that Aegon has. If you go to Flipkart's app, which is an e-commerce online marketplace, and if you search for life insurance out there, so this is the traditional way of underwriting, wherein a big form is there. As I said, document uploads are required, medical tests are required, whatever not. And if you go to Flipkart, this is the kind of screen you will see. You will just want to fill some 4 or 5 basic details of yours. That's it. That's it. You need to go on that app and can see for yourself, search for life insurance. You will see a Aegon powered kind of a AI driven thing. After filling 4 or 5 fields with a click of a button, you can buy a life insurance policy up to 5 million Indian rupees, just like that.